All right, welcome back. Today we're just going to add a nice simple line chart using Chart.js. This is actually really easy, even though you think it would be quite tricky. But it's easy, just a couple of lines of code really. And you can have your own working chart. So we'll start off with our blank doc here, which I've already set up. Hopefully I've set it up properly this time. So we're going to grab a script from CDNJS just for our chart.js. So we can just chuck that in the header. Just head over to CDNJS and you can search for Chart.js and it will give you the link you need. And then we will add our canvas. So for the chart to draw on the screen, we need a canvas. So that's just a canvas tag and we'll give it an ID of my chart. So ID my chart. And you can set the height and width if you want right on the canvas so it knows how big to make it. So we're going to make it 100% of this. Actually, and then its max width is to 700, so it won't get bigger than 700. So it'll go to 100% or max to 700. It doesn't really matter. You can just set it to whatever and it will go default. I think you might need some sort of width, but anyway. Now we just want to add some JavaScript to initialize our chart. So we will add a script tag here down the bottom. And this one, we do need to add some values to X and Y. So we're just going to add some ones I have previously prepared. So we have this one. I'll just wrap this so you can see it. This one we have const X values. These are our X values. And you can just pick some random numbers here. And we'll add them into the X. And then we want the same for the Y. So we want const and then Y values. And then these are also just a bunch of random numbers for our Y values for the chart. You could load them in from JSON or something else, or depending on what chart you want. So now we'll set up the new chart. So we want to go new chart and then my chart. So that's linking to this my chart ID and then a squiggly brackets. And the type of chart we're going to draw today is a line chart. So that's type line and then a comma. Make sure you put commas after all of these. And then we'll set up our data for this. So we want to go data and then squiggly brackets again. So we've got two open brackets so far. And for our labels, we are going to set that to the X values. So we're using this X values as our labels. And then we want to set up some data sets. So within this, actually under the labels, we want to say data sets colon, and then you want a square bracket and a squiggly bracket. And then we can add our values in here. So we want to, you can just leave most of these as defaults usually. We just want to add another data value here as our Y values. So we can dent that in a little bit. And now we just want to close all of these. So we want to close the square and this brackets. This is just so you can add more things like colors in. We can add some colors later. So that's a squiggly bracket and a square bracket. I don't know what they're actually called. Probably that's what I'm going to call them anyway. And then we just want to add another squiggly bracket and a comma. And then we will close it. You can also add options there for later if you want. I think that's why I added another comma there actually. You can say options. And then to finish, hopefully we've closed all of the brackets properly. So you need a squiggly and then a bracket and then, what is that, a semicolon, isn't it? And now we'll see if that works. Probably won't work. So now we've got our chart, but it is black or dark mode because it's defaulted to dark, which is fine, except we probably want to set our colors on this. So you can actually set the background color as a variable inside this data set. So you can just put a comma in here and then you can put in background color and then set it to whatever RGB value you want. I think I've got this one as blue. Yeah, and then we have a blue chart. And then if we want to set the border, you can do that as well. A whole bunch of different colors you can set in there. So border color, we can set that to 255. I don't know what color that is. No, it looks the same. Apparently that's set the border color, but you can't tell. But anyway, that is a nice simple chart. And you can see our values we have on the axes, and it has set up the ranges automatically. It just picks the max range and the min range and then sets up the chart there. So that is a basic chart using Chart.js. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.